Hi, I'm Tony Lair. In this how-to, I'll be showing you how to set up your workspace for Eco Flo background dyeing, shading and blending techniques, as well as detail work. Ideally, you should have a separate designated space for coloring, away from your tooling area. If you don't have this option, remove your tooling surface and all unnecessary tools before you begin coloring. The reason: if any dye or stain drops on your tooling surface and is not cleaned away, the color can be picked up on your hands or tools and transferred to your next tooling project. Use a combination of natural light, daylight lamp fixtures, and overhead lights if they are available. Even though Eco Flo products are water-based, proper ventilation is recommended. Select a chair for comfort, but mainly for proper height. Chairs that are adjustable work the best. You need to be positioned so you are working over your project. Have paper towels handy for blotting off excess dye from your brush, for cleanup, and for those unexpected spills. You will need a container of clean water for diluting dye and cleanup. Use glass, ceramic, or plastic, but never metal. Water kept in a metal container can cause stains on your leather. Use scrap pieces of leather cut from the same leather as your project for testing your dye colors. Line a trash container with plastic and have it nearby for disposing of applicators, scrap leather, and paper towels. Select one or more good quality round, natural or synthetic fine point brushes. I recommend a number 4 for most areas and a number 1 liner for very small spaces. Be sure your brush has spring in the bristles. This allows for greater control of dye application. When using more than one color, I recommend a separate brush for each color group, such as reds, browns, greens, yellows, blues, etc. No matter how completely you think you have cleaned a brush, dye will get into the ferrule and hide. Then, when you least expect it, the old dye will migrate down into the bristles to ruin your coloring. To help identify your brushes, color code them by wrapping the brush handle ends with colored electrical tape to match the color dyes you're using. Then place the brushes in a rack or container, bristles up when not in use. Using a dye palette makes working with dyes easier and safer than dipping your brush into an open bottle. Never pour dye directly into the palette. Use an eyedropper for better control. Most background dyeing, detail work, shading, and blending techniques use leather dyes in 16 pre-mixed colors, along with acrylic-based Kova colors, which come in 18 pre-mixed colors. Plan your colors before you start and have them on your workspace. Just in case you might choose to mix custom colors, have pen and paper handy to keep an accurate record of dye formulas so you can mix more if needed. Removing the seals from new bottles can be messy. Be sure to carefully open all bottles away from your project before you start coloring. If you have young, healthy eyes, you may not need a magnifying glass. As I get older, having one at hand is very helpful. Avoid touching your undyed leather. If your skin oil gets on the leather, it will act as a resist to dyes, stains, and antiques. Place tracing film or paper between your hand and the leather. Carefully move it along as you work. For more information about coloring using Eco Flo products, see our book, Coloring with Eco Flo, and our how-to videos.